A throated whistle pierces the pre-dawn darkness, its melody echoing through layers of ancient life. The musician wren's song drifts through the morning mist as the Amazon awakens to another day in its 50-million-year story. Before light touches the highest branches of the canopy, the forest begins its daily symphony, a performance that has shaped our planet's climate, nurtured countless species, and holds secrets that could secure humanity's future. Dawn light transforms suspended water droplets into countless golden stars, each one reflecting a fragment of the forest's vast story. Dr. Maria Santos steps onto the research station's observation platform, her voice filled with wonder even after 15 years of study. Sometimes, when the forest is just awakening, you can almost feel the pulse of life itself. Every leaf, every creature, every drop of water plays its part in nature's greatest symphony. What we're witnessing isn't just a forest, it's Earth's most successful experiment in life. The living breath morning mist rises from the vast expanse of green, revealing the serpentine curves of the Amazon River below. The forest breathes in water, releasing it back to the sky in an endless cycle that has continued since before humans walked the earth. Each day, billions of trees perform this ancient ritual, creating rivers that flow not on the ground, but through the air itself. Dr. James Chen, atmospheric scientist at the National Institute for Amazonian Research, monitors these patterns from the weather platform. His research has revealed how a single large tree can lift and release more than 1,000 liters of water daily. What we're witnessing is really a kind of poetry. The forest drinks from the river, breathes into the sky, and the sky, in turn, rains back down to the river. But the scale of this process is almost beyond comprehension. Recent studies have mapped these aerial rivers in detail. The Amazon releases 20 billion tons of water vapor daily. This moisture creates flying rivers, larger than the Amazon itself. These atmospheric rivers provide essential moisture as far as Argentina. Without this system, much of South America would be desert dry. Sarah Martinez studies these global weather patterns. When we track water molecules, we find Amazon moisture falling as snow in the Andes and as rain in São Paulo's reservoirs. This forest is literally watering a continent. Web of life. As morning light filters through the canopy, it illuminates one of Earth's most complex webs of life. Dr. Rebecca Chen examines a leaf barely larger than her thumbnail. This single leaf hosts at least 47 different species of microorganisms. Each has evolved alongside the others over millions of years. Remove any one of them, and the entire miniature ecosystem might collapse. The numbers astound even seasoned researchers. A single hectare contains up to 42,000 different species of insects. One tree can host more ant species than all of Britain. Over 16,000 different tree species have been identified. Scientists estimate 80% of Amazon species remain undiscovered. Dr. Miguel Torres carefully collects specimens from a newly fallen branch. Last month, we discovered a moth species that pollinates a single type of orchid. The moth's proboscis exactly matches the orchid's nectar tube length, down to the millimeter. This level of co-evolution took millions of years to develop. Recent expeditions have revealed transparent skinned frogs that show their internal organs, wasps that turn spiders into zombie security guards, fish that can identify human faces, plants that communicate through underground networks, butterflies that drink turtle tears for minerals. Dr. Lisa Wong heads the New Species Initiative. We're finding an average of 3 new species every day. But we're also losing species before we can discover them. It's like trying to read a library while it's burning. Ancient knowledge, modern science. Carmen Yawa, a traditional healer of the Yanomami people, moves through the early morning forest with practiced grace. Her hands select leaves and bark with precision born from generations of knowledge. Our ancestors understood that everything here is connected. When we gather plants for healing, we don't just take. We ask permission, we give thanks, we plant seeds for the future. The numbers validate this ancient knowledge. Indigenous peoples use over 2,000 plant species for medicine. Traditional remedies have led to 25% of modern pharmaceuticals. Native communities identify medicinal properties with 85% accuracy. Traditional management practices reduce deforestation by 50%. In her laboratory at the Instituto Butantan, Dr. Helena Martinez studies compounds identified through indigenous knowledge. Take this vine that traditional healers use for snake bites. We've isolated compounds that could transform how we treat venomous bites worldwide. But here's the crucial point: we would never have found it without indigenous knowledge. Recent collaborations have yielded new treatments for resistant malaria strains, anti-inflammatory compounds 50 times more potent than aspirin, natural antibiotics effective against resistant bacteria, cancer-fighting molecules from tree bark, pain relievers derived from frog secretions. The living architecture. The forest reveals itself in layers, from the subterranean to the celestial. 200 feet above the forest floor, sunlight streams through the canopy, the eighth continent, where more than half of all rainforest species live their entire lives without touching the ground. Dr. Elena Torres ascends on a specialized lift. Each height is its own ecosystem. 20 meters up, you find one community. 40 meters up, everything changes. It's like ascending a living skyscraper, each floor housing different residents with different adaptations. Beneath the forest floor spreads another world just as complex. Dr. Maya Patel exposes delicate fungal threads that weave through the soil like neural networks. What we're seeing here is Earth's original internet. These fungal connections link virtually every tree in the forest, allowing them to share nutrients, send warnings, and even support their offspring. Recent discoveries reveal, trees recognize and nurture their offspring through these networks. Older, mother trees support younger trees with carbon and nutrients. Warning signals about insect attacks travel through these networks. The system transmits electrical signals similar to neural impulses. The network can transport nutrients over 100 meters. The river's pulse. The Amazon River and its tributaries form the forest's circulatory system. Paulo Mentorio, with 40 years of experience on these waters, reads the river's daily rhythms. Every ripple tells a story. When the water has a certain smell, we know the tambaqui fish will be spawning. When it reaches a particular level, specific fruits will be falling for the fish to feed on. The flood pulse system reveals extraordinary connections. Fish feed on fruits and disperse seeds miles downstream. Flooding creates seasonal aquatic forests where fish spawn. River dolphins navigate through treetops during flood season. Nutrient-rich sediments feed the forest during floods. Some trees time their fruiting to the flood cycle. Climate engine. Dr. Elena Torres monitors climate patterns from her research tower. The Amazon isn't just affected by climate, it's a primary climate regulator. What happens here affects weather from Argentina to Texas. The numbers tell a compelling story. The forest stores 100 billion metric tons of carbon. Amazon rainfall affects crop production across continents. The forest creates 50–75% of its own rainfall. Deforestation has already reduced rainfall by 25% in some regions. Drive. Robert Chang studies the critical tipping point. We're approaching a dangerous threshold. If deforestation exceeds 20–25% of the original forest, the system could begin to collapse. The implications would be catastrophic, not just for South America, but for global climate patterns. Seeds of tomorrow. Young saplings reach toward filtered sunlight as indigenous children learn plant identification from their elders. Maria Tacano works with communities to preserve both forest and knowledge. Our people have been the forest's guardians for thousands of years. Now we're combining traditional wisdom with modern science to ensure its survival. Conservation initiatives show promising results. Community-managed areas reduce deforestation by 75%. Restored corridors reconnect fragmented habitats. Sustainable harvesting provides economic alternatives. Technology helps monitor and protect remote areas. Drive. Sarah Williams studies biomimicry applications. The Amazon is Earth's greatest innovation lab. We're finding solutions here that could revolutionize everything from medicine to materials science. Recent breakthroughs include water purifying membranes inspired by plant cells, solar cells that mimic leaf photosynthesis, adhesives based on spider silk proteins, natural pesticides that protect beneficial insects, new antibiotics from soil bacteria. As day fades to dusk, the forest celebrates with its evening chorus. Birds call their final songs, primates settle into sleeping trees, and the first bioluminescent fungi begin to glow. Dr. Elena Rodriguez makes a final observation from her canopy platform. What the Amazon teaches us, above all, is that everything is connected. Each species, each process, each relationship plays its part in Earth's great symphony of life. The forest's message remains clear. Everything is connected, everything has purpose, everything returns. As night deepens and stars appear above the canopy, the Amazon continues its ancient rhythms. In this greatest of Earth's gardens, every ending is just another beginning, every departure a return, every question an invitation to discover something new. The cycle continues, as it has for millions of years, writing new chapters in the greatest story life has ever told. Our role in this story, whether as destroyers or protectors, will determine not just the Amazon's future, but our own.